It's Miss Setfight with episode 6 of Check It Out Weekly Book Texts from your WMS library. The first of 10 books I want to tell you about today is called Troublemaker for Justice. This is a 2019 biography of someone you may not know about, but who was a key figure during the civil rights movement. His name was Bayard Rustin, and he was Martin Luther King Jr.'s mentor. He was pivotal in organizing the March on Washington and was deeply invested and involved in the civil rights movement. If you'd like to know more about this time period and about a figure who's seldom mentioned when we talk about civil rights in our American history classes, this biography of Bayard Rustin is for you. The second book I want to tell you about is a 2019 adventure called The Starlight Claim. This would be a great book for fans of Hatchet. In this book, Nate searches for a lost friend. He enters an area where his family has a cabin, but when he arrives at the cabin, he discovers that it's currently inhabited by prison escapees. Nate has to figure out a way to find his friend and figure out how to evict these escapees without putting himself or his friend in danger. The next book is Wink by Rob Harrell. This will be a Golden Silver nominee next year. So 7th graders, when you are in 8th grade, this will be a nominee. This book came out this year. It's realistic fiction, but it is based on the author's life experience. The main character, Ross, has eye cancer, and he's only 12 years old. He takes that experience and makes it wildly funny. This book is reminiscent of the Diary of a Wimpy Kid series and may remind you a bit of the book Wonder as well. So great read. Like I said, it will be a Golden Silver nominee in the future. The next book I want to tell you about is called Steelheart by Brandon Sanderson. This isn't brand new. It's actually from 2013 sci-fi, but this is a great start to a wonderful trilogy. In this book, there are figures called the Epics. These are former Cubans who have extraordinary powers. David, a mortal, will go to any length to stop Steelheart, one of the greatest among the Epics, and who was also David's father's killer. Again, this is the beginning of a tremendous trilogy, so feel free to check that one out. If you're a graphic novel fan, I think you might really like Black Canary Ignite by Meg Cabot. This is from 2019 and it's part of the DC Zoom graphic novel series. Some of you may recognize the name Meg Cabot. She wrote the very well-known Princess Diary series. In this book, she takes on the character of Diana, who's very assertive. She's in a band and she wants to fight crime like her dad. Unfortunately, a shadowy figure keeps interfering with all of her plans. You have to read the book to find out who that is and more about what happens to Diana. This next book is being billed as a book for fans of Stranger Things. It's called Midnight on Strange Street. It just came out this year. It's sci-fi paranormal twist. It features 4 teens with telepathic abilities who need to use their powers to stop a supernatural enemy. This book, Stamped, Racism, Anti-Racism, and You, is by the wonderful YA writer Jason Reynolds and Ibram X. Kendi, who wrote the original Stamped book, which is called Stamped from the Beginning. This book is considered a remix for young adults, and it's narrative nonfiction. The original book on which this one was based won the National Book Award, and this book really details how false ideas about race have been spread and kind of influenced our country's history. So if you've become interested in racism and anti-racism, this would be a terrific read for you. The book The Canyon's Edge by Dusty Bowling is a brand new adventure. It's a verse novel. It just came out this year. It's about a girl named Nora who's lost and alone at the bottom of a canyon. She and her father went on a trip to try to forget and bond after her mother's horrific death in a fatal shooting. Nora finds herself trapped without her dad, without supplies, and in addition to trying to survive, she needs to confront the demons that are inside her as she's dealing with her mother's death. The First Conspiracy, The Secret Plot to Kill George Washington, is by Brad Meltzer and Josh Mensch. This book came out in 2020, and I should say the young adult version of this, so the young readers version just came out. The book by Brad Meltzer for adults came out a little bit longer ago, a couple of years ago. This book is about the secret plot, the little-known plot, to murder George Washington and bring victory to the Loyalists at the time of the Revolutionary War. Interestingly, that foiled plot led to the development of some of our modern American intelligence agencies. So if you're interested in the CIA, the FBI, this would be a terrific narrative nonfiction read for you. If you're familiar with Brad Meltzer, he writes a lot of thrillers and suspense novels that often hit the New York Times bestseller list. This book is written like one, so it's an exciting read. The last book I want to tell you about is Long Way Down by Jason Reynolds. This is a 2020 graphic novel based on Jason Reynolds' novel. This contains haunting illustrations in watercolor. And the book is about Will, the main character, whose brother was shot dead. Will faces kind of some community rules, unwritten rules. Number one is you don't cry. Number two is you don't snitch. And number three is that you find a way to get revenge. And as well as Will seeks revenge for his brother's death, he is confronted with figures from his past who have also been involved in or faced gun violence. And it makes him question everything he knows about those rules. All right, that's all I've got for you for this week, Warriors. Let us know if you want us to deliver any of these books via Book Hub, or we will. You can stop in and we'll check them out to you. But I hope to get these books in your hands soon. Take care.